Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is Lintheo coming at you with a discussion video about what do you think the most failed archetype in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. Now, we've had so many different archetypes, and originally archetypes weren't exactly the focal point of decks back in the earlier day. They were more cookie cutter with the best cards were just thrown together into one deck to make it work. As of, the past many years, as the game has progressed, archetypes have come more into the game and are the dominating force behind what meta decks are running. Now, archetypes, as I said, have been around for a while. They dictate what is good in the format. A good archetype will be good in the format. It's not so much about cookie cutters anymore. Decks like anti-meta don't really stand up to the formats anymore. You do see smatterings of them, but unfortunately they're just too slow and they just don't have the power that these archetypes do. So I want to reflect on what people think are the worst archetypes that I've ever seen in the game. Now, I don't mean the worst as in you hate it, as in Dragon Rulers, for example, that you really hated that actual deck and you really couldn't stand playing against it. I mean the one that has been the least supported, or maybe the worstly supported, ones that Konami just really haven't seen what the actual deck needs. Now, the first one that springs to mind that has been so lackluster, and I think the one that everyone will think about, is Ice Barriers. Ice Barriers do have a lot of things that they can utilize. However, they're just so lackluster. It's just not that good. And I've never ever seen any single Ice Barrier deck even do anything remotely high up in competitions or metas. And it is a shame, because I feel that every archetype should have its day, because what's the point in printing it if it's just not going to be used at all? Another one that I always thought was a little bit lackluster was Naturia. Naturia kind of occasionally had sparrings of competitive decks, but it never really got off the ground, and considering it's quite ironic that they didn't really do anything and now they're getting a little bit more support, but Naturia cherries have still been so expensive it just doesn't make sense to me. I know that they're hard to get, but alas. Another one is Cloudians. Cloudians seem to be quite a cool deck. I know that they have done a few things, but they're just so lackluster. Like, they just don't do anything. And I know that there might be some crazy combos out there, but that's all they are, unfortunately. They're just random crazy combos that will never really happen in the meta. They just can't stand up to it. So there are many different archetypes out there. It's a difficult one because everyone's going to have differing opinions. If you are a fan of Ice Barriers, Cloudians, anything like that, then obviously you're going to say maybe it's not the worst archetype because you support it. We need to be really honest and say what is the worst supported archetype and what would actually make them better. What do those decks need? For example, Crystal Beasts. Pretty cool deck. I quite like Crystal Beasts, but they are lackluster. They have good support, they have good cards. They are lacking a certain boss monster, and Rainbow Dragon was a poor excuse as a boss monster in my opinion. It just wasn't good enough. And the whole mechanic of going into the back row now, I feel, is just outdated and just isn't really that good anymore. So I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below as to what your worst archetype is that has ever been printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.